Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here. Listen, I've missed you, my viewers. I've got a lot of y'all check with me and all. I appreciate that. We, been preempted by the Women's World Cup, but we're glad to be back, and we're hitting strong. A little bit of time off, but I guess good for everybody. But I sort of miss being on, and I appreciate the correspondence I have with a lot of y'all. I think we're going to have one more match, maybe one day next week, but we'll see. But we're pretty well back in the saddle now. So thank you for hanging in there with us. And like I said, that was not a local decision, but we just do what they ask us to do, and everybody's happy. Okay, let's move on with our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and the hard-working group, taking care of our everyday comfort needs. And it has been hot while we've been off. Looking at a high today at 92, a low of down to 78. The water temperature, that's again as high as it has been all summer. It is 86 degrees this morning. That's pretty warm right there. The river readings brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. We're looking at the Apalachicola Bluntstown. It's really at a 5 foot, man. It's level, dropping out pretty strong, and sort of level off. And so is the Choctawhatchee Careville. It's reading right at a 2.4. It dried up almost while we were gone. So both rivers are low as we get into the weekend. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. High tide is at 121 today, and then low is at 10:11 tonight. Okay, now let's go into our fishing game forecast since it's a Friday show, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. Our time, looking at 214 to 414 this morning, and 240 to 440 this afternoon. And the wind's gonna be coming out of the west at about 9. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. As you can imagine, our pictures are sort of piled up on us and accumulated the last 3 or 4 days, so we'll just start wading through them and try to get them all covered. We won't get them all covered today, so if you send some pictures and they're not shown today, we'll pick them up the first part of next week. So we have all kind of pictures of happiness, really, all kind of cool things going on. Let's start off with this one, Danny Joe's Trent. This is not just typify being on the river this time of year. That's relaxing. All right. Cheryl Westbrook sent this to me. My husband and I caught these wonderful red snapper on a Burl Raffield boat in Apalachicola last Sunday. We had a great time. Cheryl Westbrook, and here's a picture right here. That is some fine snapper. We've talked about fishing with Raffield down in Apalachicola. I'm telling y'all, that's just a great little trip to take there. It is. I got to get back up with them. This is funny. Cole Saws and Taylor Wheeler Saws. Talking about a little kid. Happy birthday to their 2-year-old. So they caught this big red snapper. You see, they're good fishermen. Cole has a boat and all. But this is the funniest picture. They hold up 2 fish and hold up the kid. Good job. That was cute. All right. Jordan Crowder over here at Grayton Beach. I've seen this happen, and I know y'all have too. When it cut at all these little coastal dune lakes, and when it breaks through or down at Phillips End, it's the same thing, and you can notice the difference in the quality of the water. Okay, so here's an area view. So the lake is broken. The little natural made dam, it gets so much rain it breaks through, and as that water comes out, it's just a definitive line between the Gulf clear water and rainwater coming out of the tannic acid, all coming from the creek and the roots and all. I thought that was really, really neat, just a natural phenomenon. Okay, Jack Nichols. Hey, Winston. Greetings from Glacier National Park in Montana. Jack and Mary. And what he has on, folks, he sent to me because he had a Panhandle outdoor shirt. So our shirt has made it over here to Montana. Good job. And a good picture, too. Saying thanks for sharing that with us. He watches our show out there. He lives in Colorado. Okay. Carol sent this. Carol Miller, she walks a bridge on a regular basis, and she saw this big old redfish This is off the Lynn Haven Bridge. We've talked about, catching big reds around the bridges. This is really big. You don't usually get one this big, but that's the fine one. And he got it. The way he did it right there with that net, just drop the net down, and that is the best way. Instead of, old timers would throw a hook over and all, but this is the way to do it, is drop it down. So he was able to just ease him back down in the water. They got a picture, eased him back down in the water and released him. And that's a good way to do it. Thank you, Carol, for sending that. Okay. Let me see what we got next. Here it is, back in the water, leaving. That's cool. Mick sent this. It was, look what I caught, half mile west, talking about the Bailey Bridge. This is out there in the bay. This morning I pulled it back to the boat ramp. I've caught, biggest I caught all year. Water temperature at 5:30. At 5:30 in the afternoon was 88 degrees in North Bay. Well, this is one of the pilings. They got washed up. This one you have to be careful. No matter how many times you've been on the water, how many times you've been there and all, you just never know what's out there. So just always pay attention and stay focused on driving when your boat's running, especially going pretty fast. Okay? Tammy and Levon. This is not a repeat. They did this the other day. This is very similar to one they sent not too long ago, but they finally got back out on the water. Tammy Zackerl and Levon Brooks Billsma at Levon's Lighting, big sponsor, big advertiser with us. I always appreciate Levon doing that. She can fish, as you can see. Those ladies, and also I saw where Tammy and her husband got a place down there at Howard Creek now, so that's cool. Okay, took my son. I just want to talk about out of Deer Point this afternoon. Once the rain cleared, the youngest son caught this hoss. It was the first largemouth bass, and he talked about it all day. Isn't that a great picture? From Chris Davis on the Panama City Fishing page. My husband, Ronnie LeMasters, a lot of y'all know Ronnie. He's been taking care of people's cars and trucks for his lifetime, and a very talented musician, but he also can flat out fish. Caught a big bass. We enjoy the show. We watch it every morning. Good job, Ronnie LeMaster. He's got a fishing boat all rigged up there. That's good. How about, we've talked about this before, these big catfish coming off the Choctawhatchee River. This one weighed, Howard Hanners, this one weighs 73 pounds. See, I always check, I don't know about you, I always look at a boat trailer tag and see on the lower right hand corner and see where it's from. Walton County. So he's at home. Okay. Captain Kim sent a couple of sea quarters reports real quick. They've had a good year down at Carabel at sea quarters. I mean, they've brought in a snapper right and left. And here's Teresa and her husband Chris. They're on a private boat. They caught a nice one. So, and these folks aren't experienced fishermen. They just flat out went out there and just caught them some fish. Okay. One more. We're going to show this. Well, let's see. I want to show one more. Because this is Mike Price, a friend of mine. Doormat is the term used for a big flounder. He caught this on a bull minnow. Good job. Good job, Mike, right there. He's a good fisherman. Now, the term doormat. Let's look at this. This is from my buddy Joe Eddy. I'm afraid you won't be able to see the details. He sent this to me. This is a real doormat. He's out there floundering, and he may not can see that is the floor mat. You can see the welcome. I mean, you can see that is a real floor mat. He got a kick out of it. Someone's floor mat had been washed over, down in the water and all, but a doormat, a doormat right there. And so that's where the term comes from. The flounder as big as that. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You know how you look for something, you know it's on there, you can't find it, but anyway, I'll go and tell you about it and show you a picture. The box turtle laid some eggs. I saw a box turtle pretty close to the house the other day, and it backed up against the area. I got a video of it, I just can't pull it out, but I kept looking at her, and it reminded me of, when the turtles come out of the water on the beach and all, and she had backed up in the area, and she talked just like the sea turtles. And she was laying some eggs, so when she laid them, I ended up, I wanted to get close and take some video, but I stayed away from her. And it didn't take long, about 15 minutes she was gone, but I went ahead and I had to mark the area. So here's the area I marked right here. So this, I wrote myself a sign. It's back sort of, I just didn't want to stumble over. I got turtle eggs, I got flags on it. And you can see, that's a little dirt area. I got to thinking, and see back there right under, that's one of Gail's pots turned upside down as a protection, a barrier like they do on the beach and all. I guess I should put some yellow tape around it to make it official. But anyway, the box turtle, their gestation period is about the same amount of time as the as the big sea turtle. Also, we'll be watching that. But if I find a video, I'll get it on next week and all. Now let's move. If I can find this this scallop, we're having a scallop season coming up. But let me see if I can find it. But I also want to wish a happy birthday to the U.S. Coast Guard. I'm gonna right here. Good morning, Mr. Winston. I got to watch your show as they do Monday through Friday. The soccer game was on. Very disappointing. Retired Senior Chief, U.S. Coast Guard, on Friday, August 4th. It is the 233rd birthday of the Coast Guard. So we want to recognize the men and women who proudly serve in the greatest country of the world. So it is really cool that I want to wish a very happy birthday to the Coast Guard. They have I was looking here. Here's a picture. I pulled this picture up anyway. How about August the 4th, 1790? That was a good while back. And I just wanted to give you a happy birthday, and thank you for sharing that with us too. So, can you imagine what they have seen in that period of time? Anyway, I can't find a little notice. It's from the here it is right here. I found it. No, that's Fishing Club. It's FWC, one of these right here from FWC, and what it is about the scallops. Well, they're having a scallop rodeo. I don't know much about it. Tomorrow, I'll just tell you what's going on. At St. Joe, at the landing there, and what they want to do, now scallop season's not open, they want volunteers to come in. They've done it before, and they want volunteers to go out in St. Joe Bay, collect as many scallops as you can, keep them alive, bring them back to the boat ramp, turn them over to the FWC, and FWC is going to get them and then take them back out there and put them, I guess, in a protected area where it says no scalloping, and try to preserve some of the areas there as far as the scallop just being able to survive because of so much pressure. Speaking of, and we've shown this before, the dates and all, but what's fascinating right here in the green and down here, everybody has all different times. There's like 5 weeks in the green and for us, and 5 weeks down here. And the yellow area has like 15 weeks right here. They have 15 weeks of scalloping. And the two blue areas, I added up their times, they actually have 12 weeks of scalloping. Now let me go back over there. The green and up top us, and then one at the bottom, we have 5 weeks. The blue has 12 weeks and the yellow has 15 weeks. And that simply goes according to the population and the pressure put on them. Now, down at Pasco County has a lot down there, but they get so much pressure coming up from St. Petersburg and Tampa, they get hit hard too. And St. Joe Bay is just not that large of an area really compared to to the Finn Holloway and all. So I thought that was interesting. I do want to mention this as we get ready. There was a fatality, boating fatality down at Howard Creek while we've been off air, and I just wanted to mention, I'm going to give condolences to Danny Lee Spears, lost his life down there. I'm going to give condolences to his family. Danny Lee, originally from, he was actually here, this picture of him right here. Okay, Danny was in front of the boat and his buddy's in the back of the boat. The accident occurred, and basically FWC hadn't released the details and all, but people I've talked to down there and people that know, he was in front of the boat, his buddy's in the back, and he hit an object, they think a log in the water. Danny's originally from Kentucky and been there at a creek, lived there for about the last 15 or so years, so he's well known in the area and knew the area itself well, fishing, and he just went out one afternoon and don't know what happened, but he did lose his life. I think was thrown out of the boat. And, but anyway, I don't know if that made the news or not. We'd heard about it real quick for some Howard Creek folks. So it just goes to show you got to be careful no matter how many years of experience you have on the water and all. Just be careful every time. So our condolences to the family and also to his friends and all down at Howard Creek. I know a lot of them took it pretty tough because he was well liked individual who did a lot of things for folks. I want to get ready for our drawing. It being Friday, I'm going to add some names. All right. How about Janice Spence from Panama City? Getting back to, I don't feel good about the scallop rodeo information, but that's all I have is just one little blip. I actually ran across it myself. No one told me about it. So just check with FWC today, if you will, and see what they're saying. David Spence, Panama City. Cynthia Clark, Chipley. And there's a David Spence also in Chipley. There are 2 Spences named that, and I had some more. I don't know where they all are. I know some of y'all sent some names while we were out. But anyway, that being said, let's take a look at who's going to win. I was down at Tarpon Rock the other day. I had a little fish fry down there for the late Buster and the K, and it was just, I'm going to talk about it next week. Got some video to show you. You're going to really enjoy it. Winner of the $20 gift certificate, Margaret Taylor from Panama City Beach, and a big red snapper is Dan Bourne. Dan Bourne. And Margaret, the winner. And I was down there. It's amazing the amount of fresh fish that comes through that place. And I was talking to Greg Abrams' youngest son, who's sort of running it. He's getting into work at 6 o'clock, and he's working till 9 o'clock at night this time of year. And they really, like so many other places, they're having trouble finding help. And they're starting at $20 an hour and just can't get enough help. And so anyway, if you want a good part-time job, call them up at Tarpon Dock. All right, take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Welcome to the famous Friday fishing forecast. I got tickled about. I have 2 pages of notes because I wrote some the other day and then added some last night. So I'm going to read you all 2 pages. Basically, first thing I said is hot, as we know. And if you're up in the woods fishing in some of those creeks or some of those ponds and all, be careful of snakes. August seems to be the copperhead month. I've always seen more copperheads in the month of August than ever. So just be aware of that. Watch where you step and be careful. Also, popping corks are going to be doing good this time of year because what's going on, the water is so calm now. In the morning, it's funny how the wind blew so bad back in the springtime and early summer. And then the last week or 2, it's been flat calm, especially the morning. So that's when you want to get a popping cork making that noise. Because a lot of times in rough water, it won't make that noise. But popping cork, the old Captain Roy speckled trout jig would be ideal at this time of year. You really can catch some nice trout, and some nice trout are being caught. The bridge fishing, you saw the pictures, bridge fishing continues to be good. The bull reds at the bridge, I talk about every Friday, the bull reds on the outgoing tide and a live menhaden or some kind of live bait that you can catch locally. I was able to talk to some fishing people, some tackle people and all. It's been a good year. I was able to talk to them the other night at Buster and the K's memorial service, and they've had a good year. The tackle store's a good year. The captain's had a good year, and it's just been a good summer. It's been a little slow right now. The king mackerel bite has been a little slow, but as far as the inshore has been strong with redfish. The Choctawhatchee, I wrote down something on the Choctawhatchee. Catfish and trout lining is real good. The biggest thing is all the picture of LaVon and Tammy. The brim fishing has been excellent the last 2 weeks. Excellent, and I won't tell you any place to go because you know where to go catch brim. Just move around till you find them, and you can get your limit pretty quick if that's what you want to do. We've got to the point now where you want to catch enough to eat and catch enough to give 1 or 2 other people, and then move on. Let's see. Also wrote down about the red snapper season. Of course, the closed recreational is still open for the captains. So red snapper has been a bounty year on it. The cobia. I talked to a guy from Noah. I won't call that his name, but we sat down and had some of that fried fish together the other night, and I was asking him, and of course they concentrate on different things, but I asked him about what's the deal, with our cobia. From a scientific viewpoint, he seemed to say the same thing we all say. They've just been basically hit hard, and they get hammered all the way up and down the coast, and they can't officially say the oil spill, but a lot of people feel like that's They were hammered and they got hit by that, and it's almost been decimated on that. And the Kings run a little bit slow right now at the NBARA, and I'll show you the results next week. They had 100 and something boats out there, and all of them didn't catch Kings, but they caught some. Had a great turnout, really, really good. The wahoo bite, it's been, I was talking again to the captain, they're talking about how many wahoo has been out there this year. It's been a good year on wahoo. Okay, the freshwater up at Lake Seminole, you saw Billy Grantham. He's done real well on the striped bass fishing up there. They've done real well. Also around the dams and everything, the Lake Talquin Dam, right there, some good stripers. So if you're into striper fishing, it's a good time of year to do it. And the river, you saw the river level. River levels are really good. Let's see. Also I talk about this all the time. The brim fishing in these small ponds, taking a kid is really good. So if you really want to go early, but you can't get them up early, take them late. And we just had a good time surf fishing. Actually, the grass has not been too bad on surf fishing. I've still seen some scattered pompano being caught. A lot of catfish being caught. That's normal. Late summer, I don't do much surf fishing late summer, usually because of the catfish. But they are catching some. Brock Meyer posted some pompano he caught a couple of days ago. So they're out there. If you want to hit it early, and get there before the crowd does. So we're going to wrap it up. We have also right down to Owl Creek and Kennedy Creek for you freshwater folks up in that northern end of our viewing area. Those two creeks are hot right now. We'll wrap it up. Thank you all for watching today. I appreciate your patience with this week, and we'll be back in the saddle for most of next week. And just stay in touch with us. Send us these pictures, and we appreciate your support. And take care of our sponsors too. Y'all have a great weekend. Do something good for your fellow man. Enjoy the outdoors and take care of it. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.